This is Say More with Carla Pesono. Hey, and welcome to Say More podcast with Carla Pesono. Today we have the general manager of one of the most famous po' boy shops in New Orleans, Parkway Bakery and Tavern. If you've been to this spot, I'm sure you've been greeted by his high energy personality. Welcome to Say More, Justin Kennedy. Justin.
Carla, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be sharing this room with you.
I friggin' love you. Like, you are such a personality and you light up the room and you make Parkway what it is. And we thank you for that.
Hey, I'm just a product of my environment. I think just me being around all different types of folks, for the last 20, 25 years at Parkway has kind of molded me to who I am today,
Yeah. So your start, this is a crazy story because Parkway's been around since 1911, which is insane. And of course it is it's the most famous po' boy shop in the world. So how did you get involved and what's the history? Because this is interesting and I don't think a lot of people know.
Parkway has a super history, a rich history of just a New Orleans tale. And if you look at the front of the building, Carla, like you see that tin awning, right? In the corner door, right facing Toulouse and Hagen, right on the corner. Now, if you go drive around the city of New Orleans, especially the neighborhoods, you'll see those kind of buildings speckled all over the city. And, what those were, they were corner bakeries, corner delis, corner butcher shops, corner grocery stores. You still see a few of them in town. But back at the turn of the century, there were no big box stores. So those were your neighborhood joints. And Parkway opened up in 1911 by a German baker, and it was the neighborhood bakery. They made sandwiches with the French bread. It wasn't called a po' boy. I mean, sandwiches have probably been ever since bread and meat was invented, people were making sandwiches. But the po' boy didn't come around until 1929. But when Parkway opened as a bakery, that's what they did. They did pastries. They did Seven Sisters donuts. They did mainly French bread. And the French bread back then that they were baking was like more shaped like a football. It was about yay long and it was wide in the middle and skinny on the ends. Mm-hmm. And the po' boy came about 1929. Nothing to do with Parkway Bakery. Parkway's older than the po' boy, but we did not invent it. It was invented by Benny and Clovis Martin, the Martin brothers. There were some former streetcar conductors that made their bones in the streetcar industry, made some money, and they opened up a little grocery store, cafe, coffee stand on North Peter Street. And North Peter Street is right on the levee, right at the foot of the French Market. And that's where their store was. And 1929, Great Depression. We weren't here. But if you look back in the history books, it was one of the most trying financial times in America in the last, 100 or so years. Mm-hmm. And people weren't getting paid. People were starving. People didn't have any money. The bank shut down. And one of the main people to get hit in New Orleans was streetcar conductors. And you got to think, in the early 20s, 1920s, cars were a luxury. People really didn't have those. There weren't any buses, right? The way to get around New Orleans was the New Orleans streetcar. And they weren't on Canal Street in St. Charles. They were everywhere. There were lines, streetcar lines you couldn't even imagine. They were all over the city. Mm. That was the way to get around. That was the mass transit. And when those guys, it was a professional union job. When those guys weren't getting paid, they cut them off. Quick story is Benny and Clovis said, look, y'all come to Martin Brothers Coffee Stand, show your badge, and we're going to feed you. We're going to feed our poor boys. So they load up, and the first po' boy ever made was a fried potato sandwich. And it wasn't like French fries. I mean, I couldn't think it was probably more like boiled potatoes hacked up and then fried. French fries, but more rough cut. Yeah. And they'd put that roast beef gravy and debris, because at the time, potatoes were cheap, inexpensive, and filling. And you get that flavor of that gravy on it. And that was the first sandwich. But the issue was when they'd line up, everybody had this football-shaped bread. So the person who got the end piece get the little chintzy piece. The person who got the middle piece get the big old fat piece. So John Gindusa And John Gendusa, Jason's like the great grandson, still running the bakery today, came up with that 3-foot loaf that was consistent from beginning to end. It's called the Poor Boy Loaf, Poorboy. Everybody says po' boy because in New Orleans we don't say like where are you at? We say where you at?
Where you at?
We don't say poor boy, even though that's the correct way.
P-O apostrophe.
I'm the poor boy guy, but I say po' boy. I don't say poor boy. But if I write it out, I'll write it out the right way. But anyways, John Gendusa came up with that loaf. And it got so popular, all the bakeries started doing it. So that's when Parkway started making po' boys in the 20s and started making the same size French bread. Everyone started doing that, even bakeries that were older than Gendusa, like Leidenheimer, for instance. Leidenheimer's been doing it longer than anybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Leidenheimer was before Gendusa?
Oh, yeah. Leidenheimer was way before Gendusa. But I'm not speaking for Leidenheimer, but I know John Gendusa started that loaf. So they started making it, and they're one of the main French bread makers in town.
Right.
But they were making it in the 1800s. And same with another one was Alois Bender on Frenchman Street. They used to make it too. But there's so many great stories and rich history with this sandwich. And Parkway started making it, and it was the Timothy family. It was Jake and Bubby. They were two brothers that had that place from like the 20s. The original owner started in 1911. The Timothy family had it from like the 20s all the way till 1995.
Wow.
Okay. Mid-Cedar, where I'm at, you got the American Can Company. It's luxury apartments, right? You got the Lafitte Greenway. You got all these fancy beer breweries and restaurants on it.
Bayou Beer Garden.
Bayou Beer Garden, Wrong Iron. Everything's popping up.
Yep.
But back in like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, that was all industry. That Lafitte Greenway was the Southern Railroad line. All those big breweries, those were warehouses. Barks Root Beer was there. Higgins Boat Works, the famed naval launches that dropped on the beaches in World War II. He had a boat building site around there. The American Can Company, that was a can company that employed like 500 people. And when everybody blew the whistle for lunch, where'd they come? Parkway Bakery. And when you walk into Parkway, it was just the bar area. It was set up like a diner. Like it was only a couple of seats. It was almost like a get and go. And you better know what you wanted. Those guys they didn't play games. And I just know this from hearing the hundreds of stories from customers. You better know what you wanted. And that's what it was. And they ran that place all the way to 1995. And this is a new story I just heard about Parkway from a local mechanic that I go to in Mid-City. And he said one of the owners Jake used to come drink beer with him when he got off work. And when he was a boy, and this guy's like, he's in his mid or late 60s now. And he told me, all the industry I knew, they moved out, right? The can company closed. The building was getting older. The guys were getting older. So I think one day the Board of Health walked in and they were telling, the brothers what needed to be fixed. And these guys are probably late 70s at the time. And they tell them this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. And this mechanic told me this the other day. He said, well, Jake walked up and said, I know how to fix that. Follow me to the front door. And he walked to the front door and he locked it. He said, we're closed. And they shut down, and they shut down and put it up for sale. My uncle, Jay Nix, who is the owner of Parkway today, he lived right next door. And he was in construction. And he had a couple of shotgun doubles, around the city. And what he did was he saw him put a for sale sign the first day he walked over there. And he was talking to Bubby, who was the brother. And he was, his name was Henry Timothy, but they called him Bubby. He was a big fella, big bear fella. And he asked if he could buy it. And they did a deal right on the hood of Bubby's car. Bubby owner financed it for $40,000 because my uncle didn't have the money up front. But if you would have saw Parkway back then, there's pictures of it, you didn't think it was worth.
It was like a dump.
It was a tear down. And New Orleans was a different time. And that area, it was in a different time. Like, these cities, when they get so old, it takes them to get old to rejuvenate again. And at that time, it was in that stage where it needed the whole area needed love. And anyways, Jay bought it from the owners, and he made it a tool shed for his construction business. And that's when I come into play. So I'm going to segue the history of Parkway and everything. So I came in 1995. I'm 41 years old. So what was I, like 11 or something like that? I'm born and raised in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm not from New Orleans. My mother is. My grandfather had and my great-grandfather, all raised in Carrollton Avenue, Riverbend area. My grandfather was a doctor. And if you know where the Nix Library is and the old Hayek Eye Clinic that now is going to be a NOLA cannabis dispensary, because it's zone medical, that was my grandfather's clinic. And his house was right next door. And I never got to meet him. He passed in 83 and I was born in 84. But my roots go back in New Orleans generations and generations. And my mom moved to Biloxi in the late 70s. Because New Orleans was in a rough patch in the late 70s, early 80s.
So you moved here when you were how old?
So I moved here when I was 18 for good. But my mother used to bring me to Slidell growing up, 11, because my uncle, everybody had a favorite uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle Jay, the owner of Parkway, Jay Nix, he was my boy, still my boy now.
Yeah.
And my mom would drop me off. He'd pick me up in Slidell, and I'd go working with him on the weekends. I'm talking about a weekend a month, maybe 2 weeks. And when I got to drive, when I was 15, 16, I got my own car, forget about it. I was in New Orleans all the time, and I'd live with him right there on Hagan Street. But Parkway was his tool shed for his construction business. And you got to think, from 11 to 18 years old, you go in, and I didn't know what part. I would never, if you would have saw this place, last thing in my mind that me and my family would be making a living there, and what that place was. But I do remember as a young boy, grabbing tools and saws and going to job sites around the city with my uncle. And as soon as he'd say, my tool shed's the old Parkway, they'd say, damn it, bakery, Parkway Bakery. My dad used to bring me there. He used to work at the can company. Man, they had the best hot sausage sandwich, the best Seven Sister donuts. Man, but those guys were so grumpy. You better know what you're wanting. You better not like onions. I mean, there was so many stories, but they all had the same story. So you knew this place was special. And my uncle went to like 20 banks. Everybody turned him down. But Mickey Spencer with Gulf Coast Bank and Trust gave him a loan. And he gave him a loan for like $500,000. And he redid the original building. And like the tinted area that we have was our parking lot. You drove in there to park because we needed parking. And all that parking lot we have today came late. A lot of things came later.
Yeah.
But when we reopened in 2003, I was graduating high school. I was 18 years old. All my friends were going to like Mississippi colleges. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to New Orleans. So I wasn't a resident, and I was paying for my own school. So I moved in with my uncle, and I ended up going to Nunez, which is a community college at Chalmette, great school. And when I got my residency, I went to UNO, but my UNO experience was very short-lived. I'll tell you why in a moment. But when we opened up in December 2003, Parkway Bakery, and we spent months trying to perfect the roast beef. That was the thing you had to get right, the roast beef and, the shrimp, and not skipping corners, And if you couldn't make it, and it wasn't the best you can make, where could you buy it from? That, for instance, the French bread. Parkway used to bake their own bread.
Right.
It stopped in the 70s. There was a flood that ruined the ovens, and they started Brian Leinheimer. So that's a perfect example. We're not baking our bread. We don't know anything about it. So we bought from Leinheimer and still do today.
And you still have Leinheimer. Yeah.
And I do a little bit Gindusa as well. I keep two just in case, because you never know when someone's having a rough day. Do you use certain
bread with certain
No, I don't. I pretty much, Leinheimer is my number one. It's the one I've started with. But you see these bakeries, they used to be Benders. There used to be so many more, but they're slowly fading away. Well, why can't I give the two companies in New Orleans doing it and doing it right some business? So And then I depend on these bread bakers. It's not a Parkway sandwich without the bread.
Oh, for sure.
So, Gindusa and Leinheimer is a little different. I think Gindusa is better for seafood, right? Leinheimer is better for the beef. But I get about 3 bags of Gindusa a day, and I run them in the morning, So if you love Gindusa, come to Parkway for the first hour or 2 of service. You might get it. And if you love Leinheimer, if you come
That's
anytime,
good to know.
Yeah.
So you never notice people come up and be like, the bread seems off, or
Every now and then someone might say that, like, hey, it's different. And I'll explain to them why. Because, it's bigger than that to me. And if they're one of those people that want Leinheimer, they can just say, hey, make sure you put it on Leinheimer.
Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'll stand behind both of them.
Yeah.
They're both good. And look,
They're both great.
I support what they're doing. And one of my dreams is to bring Parkway back to baking again, right? And I've talked to both the companies. I've talked to the Wands and I've talked to Jason Gindusa. I said, guys, one day I'm gonna learn how to do my own bread and bring Parkway back to its. And they both said, not even in the same room, different conversations, you'll be doing that a week and you'll be calling us again.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. And it's
I was
going to
say, it seems so hard.
If the weather changes.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything. You get a cold front. You get fog coming in.
Yeah.
The water's there. I mean, it's a science. It's not like, oh, the roast beef gravy's a little thin, put a little stock in it.
Yeah.
It's an exact science when it comes to the bread.
That's
Those
right.
guys, so I just make the sandwiches.
Yeah.
But anyways, when we opened in 2003, line out the door and we gave food away to a bunch of people in the neighborhood, but line out the door from the metro area, from just all the old timers. I mean, people walking in on canes and,
wow.
families, grandparents, and then people that's never heard of it wouldn't know what all the fuss was about. Here I am, 18 years old, involved in it. And I fell in love with Parkway then. I mean, not the aspect of, you got to have good food to have a restaurant, people aren't coming back. So I get that. And we had all kind of people we hired to get us off the ground. I mean, we had Chef Kevin. He started us. We had James Adams. I mean, we had a Derek, the bartender. All kind of people that started with us in 2003. And because we didn't know what we were doing, especially me. I'm a punk kid, right out of high school, still wet behind the ears. My uncle, he was in construction. What's he know about the restaurant business?
Yeah.
But my uncle's a smart man, so and he knows business. So he definitely carried the torch those first years.
So did you know what you wanted to do? Like, were you in school and you were going for one thing, and then all of a sudden now you're working here and you're like, wait, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, so I had no idea what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to just moonlight through Parkway. So like I said, when I got my residency, I wanted to go to UNO. I wanted to go to a bigger college. And for me, UNO was like, I don't know. It was like a big time college for me.
Yeah.
So I went there, and that was 2005, right? It was August of 2005, and school started late. This is my first semester at UNO, and I'm 20 years old. Yeah, I'm 20 years old, and what happens? Katrina, the first week. And this was the 20 years. 20 years is this year, 2025. And I still have my, there's all kind of things to highlight the 20-year mark. So I saved a bunch of stuff. And I saved my classes, my sheets, my UNO stationery, and and it was dated the 24th of August, 2005. All my notes, I was so proud to be in school. And then that was it, because when they let you out, maybe it was a Friday, and then when the weekend hit, that Sunday was when the storm came in, and it never went back.
Wow.
And I transferred to Southern Mississippi, where all my friends went, the Golden Eagles. I transferred there, and I stayed in Biloxi for the storm and got wiped out. But Hurricane Katrina, it's almost like a dream. Did it happen? Because it happened. It feels I remember it vividly, but it just feels like so long ago, and so much has happened since then. But Hurricane Katrina made Parkway what it is today. And what I mean is, my uncle, you got to think, you're opening a brand new restaurant You opened a brand new restaurant. You're in debt up to your eyeballs, right? You're already in a sinking ship.
Don't really know what you're doing.
Don't even know what you're doing. And then this happens. And you don't
Wow.
even think the city's coming back. But you had full insurance.
And what happened? Was Parkway completely underwater?
We got about 6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was enough to destroy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people, it didn't get wiped out off the map, but we had to do a bunch of work. But my uncle was pretty much he told me to stay in school. I never got back to see the restaurant. He told me to stay up there. And I lost my truck in Katrina, so I bought a motorcycle, 20 years old, right? Bought a freaking motorbike. And I told him I wanted to come see it. And he said, just stay in school. I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, he's kind of hinting he might get rid of it and just collect the insurance money, cut his losses. That was his time in the restaurant business, which would have been smart. That'd been probably the thing to do. But I just loved the place so much. And I'm here sitting in this class up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I love Hattiesburg. I love Mississippi. That's my home state. But I'm just like, I just need to be somewhere else,
Yeah.
And I remember calling him, hey, I'm coming down this weekend. He said, come on, there's nothing here. So I jumped on the motorbike, and I was clever enough. I knew all the gas stations were closed when she got like a certain way down. They were wiped out or out of gas. So I strapped I don't know about clever is the word, dumb enough. I strapped a 5-gallon can of gas to where the passenger sits on behind you.
Yeah.
And drove down to New Orleans at nighttime. And I remember like yesterday, you think you're coming from the east on I-10, you go over the high rise. It's insane. You got to watch out for the crazy drivers. It's cars all over the place, especially at nighttime. Then you go look at the city, you see the bridge, you see the lights in downtown. I mean, it's a big city, things going on. Imagine going through, I have this in my brain, driving up that, and the only lights, it's like you're on a country road.
Yeah.
You see the swamp bugs in the headlights. You can smell that smell of like that Katrina flood. And I remember driving up the high rise, and when you're to the top of it, nothing. Pitch black, motorcycle, just motorcycle headlights. And you saw a little glow in the French Quarter. French Quarter, they kept their power. And French Quarter was a lifesaver for everyone in the city who first came back. That was the place you went out, you ate. People stayed at like Royal Sonesta, stayed in the hotels. But anyways, I pulled up and saw Parkway, and I knew right then and there what I had to do. And I said, Jay, I don't know what your plans are, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving school. School's out. I'm coming to help you. And he said, look, if you want to, come on.
Wow. What was it though? What was it that you were
It was just
so
like I said,
like
I am in a place, and it's hard to explain because people can't live it, but I'm in a place that New Orleans comes to me. I live there too. I live upstairs. New Orleans comes to me, 8 to 80, young and old, all ethnicities, all money backgrounds.
Yeah.
They come, and I'm not saying Parkway Bakery. New Orleans po' boy shops grab everyone.
Yes.
White tablecloths. I love a white tablecloth restaurant. They don't grab everyone, it's just po' boy shops get all walks of life, and that's why I love it, because I've met so many awesome people, and still now, and
from now all over the world.
Oh yeah, now it's a fast forward to now, it's a whole different ball game.
Right.
It's absolutely insane what we've done. But look, it's hard work. I mean, the restaurant business is probably, and I've had a lot of mentors. Chris Montero, he's worked with the Ralph Brennan Group for years. He's one of my senseis. Dickie Brennan, he's one of my mentors I talk to. I mean, I've met Leah Chase, and that whole family, Chef Cleo. I've just met so many people. Not by going to see them, by them walking through the door. Everyone I've met in New Orleans, I'm a kid from Biloxi, Mississippi.
Right.
And I got the rite of passage of being a New Orleanian, which I believe I am, just because the history of my family. And if you go to Biloxi, the way I talk, I'm from Mississippi. Born and raised talking like this. there's not too much of a heavy Southern Mississippi accent. It's more of a New Orleans accent.
I hear only New Orleans.
And that's what Biloxi is. The Mississippi Gulf Coast.
I didn't know that.
Ocean Springs, Biloxi, Gulfport, Bay St. Louis, all the way. It should be its own, all the way New Orleans should be its own territory.
But
right?
I know people from Ocean Springs and they have a Mississippi accent.
It's mixed because a lot of families, my dad's family, Kennedy, my last name's Kennedy, so my dad's family landed in New Orleans. New Orleans was like the Ellis Island in New York. They had the customs house and where you came in through New Orleans. That was a hub during in the 1800s. My family landed in New Orleans in 1866, and they were Irish fishermen, and they started in New Orleans and moved to Biloxi. So there's a lot of New Orleans people that are on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, especially Biloxi, that started in New Orleans, that ended up there.
Yeah.
And that accent is mixed. You'll have one person from Biloxi that sounds like they're from north of Hattiesburg. And you'll have someone from Biloxi that sounds like they're from the Ninth Ward.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing.
That's interesting.
New Orleans is about 5 different accents too.
Oh, totally.
It's just strange. I guess it's just, if I was raised, it's just who you're around in your life. That's how you sound. You still got that accent from Buffalo.
Oh,
I'll
never lose my Buffalo accent. I know. Even when I was on TV, it calmed a bit, right? Because you had to speak more clearly. But now I'm like, I'm just going to talk the way I talk.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, I would definitely guess you were from New Orleans. But that makes that makes a lot of sense, though. Okay, but after Katrina, you were like, okay, I want to do this. Let's do it. You got it all cleaned up. When did you guys open the doors?
Yeah, so we lost a bunch of the people that initially helped open us because of Katrina. And like I said, we had a few people come help, and I was 21. I was on Bourbon Street on my 21st birthday. And it was November 4th of 2005. And I remember them it's like a big deal for me. And they shut the streets down at 10 p.m. The cops cleared the street, Anyways, that was it. We started cleaning up and we were reopened. And this was a blessing. Parkway was totally redone in 2003. New electric, new plumbing. Where some restaurants, the electric comes from underneath. All our electric came from up top. So none of that got flooded. So we just clipped where the receptacles were and brought them up. So that was quick. And a lot of things were new. And with construction, everything was new. Parkway was pretty much a brand new building. And that was a big deal in getting back open so quick. When some place has been open for 100 years, never changed anything. And then when they opened the walls, good God, half this building's rotten.
Yeah.
So a lot of restaurants found that out. But we got back open December of 2005.
Wow, so that's so quick.
And there's a big, there's a big article. I still have the article. No one was in the neighborhood. And there were still a lot of people working on their places, but the word out, we were open. And we opened with, I think, just roast beef and Zapp's potato chips.
That's all you need.
And and that's when Ronnie Zapp, he was the owner. He's the guy who founded it.
I love Zapp's chips.
Utz owns Zapp's now.
Utz owns, yeah.
But Ronnie used to come in the Parkway, and he was a big guy. He was like John Candy. And he'd come in, and anyways, I think he gave us a bunch of potato chips, and he was just a character. But when we opened up, there was 1,000 people at Parkway, it felt like. In the street. Not even really in line to eat. A lot of people were eating, but people just blocked off the street, just wow,
we could hang out. There's normalcy.
And that's when it really clicked, man, this place is special.
Yeah.
And fast forward, I'm 41 years old, I've seen old timers who gave me some great stories and histories of Parkway who's now, they're not here anymore. And I remember young kids coming in when they were infants, and now they're grown professionals, and it's just that's why I love it. It's more than a food thing for me.
Yeah.
It's just rooted in New Orleans culture. It's almost like a duty I have to fulfill, just like a civil servant.
Yes.
Like a city council person or a firefighter or a police officer. It's almost like something I feel like I have to do. Parkway has to run. And one day I'll be gone too. But that's the beauty about Parkway. it'll be here.
It is.
It's going to outlive me. Somebody's going to be running it. It's took, like I said, this is like third, fourth generation in of that building, people running it.
Yeah, it is. It's got a soul to it. When you drive down that street, when you walk down it and you just approach the building, like you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel the power of it. It's really special.
And my uncle, like I said, he's still the owner. Everybody, if I live long enough, I'll be in his shoes, He'll let me be owner one day. But I act like I am.
Yeah.
When people call me the owner,
I was going to say
when people call it to me, I don't say no. Because that's what I am. I feel, that's my place.
Yeah. Even though you're not technically, you are.
But let me tell you, my uncle, if it wasn't for him, it doesn't matter how good I am. We just have the perfect connection.
It's amazing.
And Jay, that's one thing about Jay. He's not, if I say, hey, we need to do this, he's all for it. And like the expansions we've done there is because, he lets go of the money to do it. And we've done some amazing things. My mom's there. My mom does all the books. I have my cousins. I have a couple of cousins there that work. One of my cousins is the head chef that does a lot of the food and prep. But
so it really is like a family business.
Yeah. I get on and do things like this.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the things somehow I'm good at.
Yeah, your personality. Yeah, you got to.
There's a lot of, and then the 42 employees that we have working there. They work. It's the same.
They're
people.
So good. And everyone is so good. It's a well-oiled machine.
Couldn't do it without any one of them. The people. Parkway is not anything without the people who are running it.
Absolutely. Any business, So you guys didn't have a food background. So where did you get these recipes? Let's talk about the food. And what was the top seller when you started and now?
Yeah, so the food recipes are the thing about New Orleans is everybody knows how to eat. Right?
That's true.
It's a food town, and there's a lot of good home cooks.
I will say, like being a Northerner coming down here, it is so impressive to be around all the men know how to cook. Like you guys know how to cook. You guys are usually running the show when it's like outside cooking, doing the boils, doing the grilling, the barbecue, whatever it is. It's so impressive that everyone knows how to cook. It's like instilled in all of you guys.
And growing
up.
It's
not like that up north.
Really?
Yeah. It's not like that. Guys don't really know how to cook. Like, it's like your mom cooked, your grandma cooked, but like some houses that I grew up in, like their parents weren't that good cooks. My mom was. I came from an Italian household, but that was what's so beautiful about coming down here. And I don't know, is it just New Orleans or South Louisiana, or does that go all the way to southern Mississippi?
I think it's the Gulf South.
I think it's the Gulf South.
The Gulf South. I mean, it's just like you said, you came from an Italian background. I mean, that's you share your love with what you cook.
Your culture,
your culture and cooking, and that's the same in the South. I mean, we all grew up with crawfish bowls, crab bowls,
in
fish
backyard
fries.
Fishing.
Yeah, fish fries.
Hunting.
And I'm a meat and potatoes cooker. I can fry fish. I can cook a steak. I can cook a hamburger.
Yeah.
And I stay in my lane, right? So sandwiches, it's no big secret. The number one secret is everything needs to be fresh.
Yeah.
If you're not a busy sandwich shop or you're a busy sandwich shop, if you're busy, it makes it easier because things turn over.
Right.
The lettuce that's sliced is gone that day. Tomatoes, that's a big part of it. Making sure tomatoes are firm, the lettuce is crisp, the bread is fresh, the product you put in is fresh. That's number one. But to get to that where you turn it quick, you got to use quality. And the number one thing we had to get right was the roast beef. And look, there's 100 different ways to cook a roast beef sandwich. And it's almost like bragging rights. People load theirs with garlic. People use an inside round. People use a chuck. People use a brisket. It's all kind of things and cuts and ways to do it. But there's one thing you can't fake is doing it real. And all these places that do it differently, they're all doing it right because they're cooking the roast from scratch. They're making their own gravy, however they make it. And look, one might be better than the other, but you can't fake that. Like when you buy and sell an already cooked piece of meat, you're not going to last. And if we would have did that at Parkway, we would have been closed the first week. So we had to make sure we got the roast beef right. And what we got our...
was a lot of trial and error or no?
A lot of trial and error, yeah. A lot of different cuts of beef. And or may rest in peace, one of our recipes one of the main parts of one of our recipes that we have our roast beef came from the late great Mr. New Orleans Frank Davis. And I'm not gonna, it was a big part of his roast beef recipe that we looked at and we cooked. I don't think we used the cut of meat that he used, but we used chuck. Chuck is like the shoulder of the cow, and it's real fatty. And what do you use chuck for? Ground chuck. Hamburgers. Yeah. And the reason people use it for hamburgers because it's good flavor, a lot of fat content. They grind it up, put it on the grill. But how are you going to make a sliced beef sandwich with that? Well, what you do is you crock pot it, but you do a big crock pot. So think about your grandmother's roast. Even you in Buffalo, I know you've had this being up in the cold weather. Yeah. You take a piece of meat, a piece of chuck.
Sear it.
Put a garlic rub on it, stuff it with garlic, put carrots and potatoes and a gravy in there. You close the lid and you let it go for a day.
Yep.
And it falls apart, fork tender. That's all we're doing, just in scale to keep up with the volume.
Yeah.
So our crock pots are like big ovens, and we keep them running 24 hours a day.
So you're doing that shredded beef, where some people do it a little bit of more of the slice, like that spot that's been around forever, Paran's.
Yeah.
Or is it, or am I saying Perriton? What's the one on off Jefferson Highway?
Well, I just found out about this place. So Paran's does a good roast beef.
But no, Perriton.
I just found out about that place.
You've never been?
So I went to Baldwin Taylor hardware store the other day because I needed some cooking equipment for Po' Boy Fest and some propane filled. And that place is just like, it's such a gym. And it's an old hardware store on Jefferson Highway, old family run. I don't know any of the guys. I know they've been there forever.
Yeah.
And they sell a bunch of boiling equipment. So I need some boiling pots to heat up all my bagged food. And I went and bought some stuff. And he told me to make the block to go pick up on the other side when I bought all my stuff. I guess that's where their loading dock was. When I made the block, I passed up that place called Parrington's.
It's Parrington's.
And this place is as big as a living room. It's a little bitty place off Jefferson Highway. And I looked it up after that.
Yeah, it's tucked into the neighborhood. It looks like a little house.
You're walking back in time.
Yeah.
So I am making a special trip to that Parrington's place because that's like...
Wait, so you didn't have it?
I didn't. I just passed it up.
This is such an incident. It reminds me of Parkways, and it's been around since I think the 50s or 40s, and then it reopened in the 60s. So it's like frozen in time, and you could look on the wall and you have like the owners and back in the day and what it looked like. And they do one of the best roast beef po' boys and fried oyster po' boy that you can get in the city.
I bet they do.
It's fantastic, but they do it different. They do the sliced beef. So a lot of people would prefer that. It's fantastic.
And that place, that's a po' boy shop I like. Parkway, I mean, look, I'm number one Parkway all day long, but Parkway's turned into, it's so busy, right? And people from all across the world are coming there now. And I love that. I love meeting people. But if I go to a po' boy shop, me personally, I want to go to an old school joint like Parrington's. Yeah, I've never been there. But I'm like,
we need to go.
I'm going to be so excited when I go through those doors. But my favorite po' boy shop that I've been to in the city, I like the old, they're all great. They're all great. But my favorites, of course, I like Don Malisi's. I like the old school vibe. Yeah. But my favorite is Guy's Po' Boys.
Guys.
On magazine. And solely, too, the food is great, of course, but the owner, Marvin Mathern, he's in there every day. And when I say old school, like I can't be in there personally making the sandwiches at Parkway every day. I'll jump in there when I need to.
But this guy
I got to have a crew. Marvin is in there.
Wow.
He is aproned up. He's in there talking to the customers behind the way he's set up. He can get the order from the customer while he's making the food.
Yeah.
And he is just in New Orleans gym.
Yeah. So I haven't been there. I got to go there.
You got to go.
And one of my other favorite roast beef po' boys is gotta give it up for Chef Scott Craig of Francesca's.
Oh,
And you could get it at Katie's as well. His roast beef po' boy is
yeah,
fantastic.
he's a legend.
He is.
Scott's a nice guy too. He's always been real good to me. He comes to Parkway often. He's a guy that is so involved with his food and his restaurants.
Yep. And the community.
And the community. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like you guys.
Yes. And that's what it takes. We talk about that. Like everybody's given a deck of cards, right? This is my deck. My deck's Parkway Bakery.
Yep.
So like use it.
What are you going to do?
Use it.
Use it.
You know, so that's what I do. I use it in the best way possible to do things, you know, for the community, and it helps raise my family. And I'm actually married. My wife has a po' boy shop in Lafayette.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Old Time Grocery. It's right there kind of on UL's campus. And we met in 2016 during a competition for best po' boy in Louisiana. And all the shops were in it, but it's like one of these like social media driven competitions. And like, I hate when I get dropped in these, like because you got to work it. Because if you don't do anything and don't tell your family and friends and customers, the people who are working it, they're gonna grow. So like I wasn't doing anything. I'm not getting involved in that. And I saw me like we're like last, and I get kind of competitive with that. So I just started calling friends and hey, vote. You know, and that's all it was how big can you get your voice. It really wasn't how good you were. But this place in Lafayette, Old Time Grocery, they were like neck and neck with us. And we ended up winning. just because I got my wife would say I cheated, but just because I got my word out, you know, they let you vote.
Oh yeah, you got to do it.
It would let you vote one time a day on your phone or your computer and lock you out for 24 hours. So you'd have to remind your friends and family to vote. Now let's just say
you stayed on top of it.
I had a way to stay on top of it. I'm not revealing that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I'm the best shop in the state by far, but I will say I can run your campaign if you're running for something.
That's good to know.
But anyways,
wait, that's amazing. You met your wife through that?
So we went up there, and this is 2016, 2017. We went up there. We gave him a plaque. My father-in-law now. We gave him like an old like cool old po' boy picture. And, you know, I met the whole family, gave me his tour of the shop. And this is a significant place. This isn't no little place. This is like big time in Lafayette. And I'd never been up to Lafayette. I thought it was a little country town. Lafayette has a lot going on. It's huge. Lafayette is awesome.
I know everyone says it's got such fantastic restaurants, and I still haven't explored it yet. Only time I've been there was picking up my dog. I bought a dog from there.
Okay. Yeah.
10 years ago. That's it. Teddy.
But yeah, so fast forward to now, like 2020, you know, we were closed up for COVID. We were doing some work, and I was in touch with my wife. You know, she was just a friend. I was in touch with her, talking to her, and she's asked if she could come down and help because I was doing some charity work or something. And she came down, and I could tell, you know, I could tell she came down for me. And I ended up asking her out or something. And long story short, we're married 4 years now. We got a little 2-year-old girl.
Oh, that's amazing.
Named Josephine. So when she's in Lafayette, she's in a po' boy shop.
Oh.
And when she comes to Parkway, first thing she does is because we have a weird thing going on. It's our normal, but when she comes to Parkway, she always whispers for the French fries. I want French fries, Dad.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but you know, my wife is still in Lafayette with my daughter.
Wow.
So it's like I'm offshore 5 days a week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Sunday after lunch, around 2, I go to Lafayette because we're closed Monday, Tuesday.
Wow.
And then I'm there. I'm in Lafayette 2.5 days a week. And then I drive in.
Oh my gosh.
But the goal is, we got married late. I got married in my late 30s. I got married 37 years old. I live at Parkway. I bought a house in Biloxi, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to buy a house in New Orleans. I live in New Orleans. Yeah. So I go to Biloxi. I still have that place now, but my wife had her house. So we're sorting it out. And by the time,
that's so interesting.
By the time school starts for Josephine, they're going to be here. So we're looking for an area, you know, we're looking for a neighborhood in New Orleans, you know.
Yeah, good. Come over here.
I want Orleans Parish. I'm Orleans Parish guy.
I know.
My wife, she's from Lafayette, so Orleans Parish is a little different, right? If you're born and raised in Lafayette, she's more of a Metairie or River Ridge kind of feel, but we'll see if we can get her in the NOLA.
You gotta get it in the OP.
Yeah.
I when I first moved to New Orleans, I was living in JP, Jefferson Parish. And then I eventually moved to New Orleans about 5 years ago. And then I just bought a house in OP. And I never thought I was going to. I was like, oh, I kind of want to be like right on the cusp so I could be like West End,
Yeah.
and like, be by like the Dornacks and, and still be in JP, but be real close enough and you get better, it's safer and all that, but it didn't happen. But I love OP.
My neighborhood, I would love to be in. Any of your listeners, anybody?
Mid-City.
I'm in Mid-City.
Oh, where we are right now?
I live at Parkway, but a neighborhood I want to be in.
Yeah.
Because I could just get off from Parkway. I could go hit Wisner by City Park, drive through the little country on Bayou St. John, and then land up in Lake Vista.
Yes.
The bird streets with the cul-de-sacs, with the parks all.
Yeah.
It'd be great for kids. I'm thinking of my daughter.
Oh, for sure.
But man.
I know, I'm right by there. I love it over there.
I got po' boy money. I don't know. Those houses are expensive.
Yeah, they are real expensive.
Even like
the insurance.
Those aren't that bad.
Really?
Because they never flooded.
They didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought that was
none
part
of those.
of it.
Most of those houses in Lake Vista, I think almost all of them didn't.
So that's not considered Lakeview?
No, I like Lakeview too. No, Lake Vista is way higher than Lakeview because it's almost on the levee.
Yeah.
So you got Lake Vista, Lake Terrace, Lake Oaks by UNO, more like Gentilly area.
I know what you're talking about.
All those, I think those are all pretty much the same developer when they came up. I don't know when they were, but they were definitely in the 50s because when you go look at these houses, they have those awesome
that like
hot
kind of
pink or baby blue tile in a tub.
Yes.
A little tub.
Yeah, it looks like 50s, 60s.
Yeah. So we've been looking at houses.
That's exciting.
I just look. I don't just window shop because it's like I'm not there yet,
I know. Well, when I got my house, I didn't know if I was ready. I was just letting it come to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need to buy, and then unless it comes up. You have time. She's 2.
Yeah, she's 2. We have time, and if we start in Lafayette, but we're.
Wait, that's got to be a lot driving all the way to Lafayette because the traffic going through Baton Rouge.
I love it. It's my because I live at work. I'm instantly at work when I come downstairs. I love that 2 hours. Turn on your music, make some phone calls, and then sometimes I'll do my little maps to see how long it takes to get to Lafayette. It's usually 2 hours and 5 or 6 minutes, a little over 2 hours in good traffic. But if the maps say 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm talking about I-10 through Baton Rouge, you might as well take 90. 90 is always about 2 hours and 40 minutes, no matter what. You really don't ever run into traffic, and it's a neat area. You ever took Highway 90?
I don't know if I have. Maybe.
You go through,
Yeah, what do you go through?
You go through Des Allemands, it's like the catfish capital of the world. And you go through all the little small towns, Morgan City. And there's.
So going to Lafayette all the time, where's your favorite boudin spot?
Oh, man.
Do you have one?
I like that, it's a popular place, but I've tried a few. I'm not a boudin connoisseur.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
But I've tried a bunch of them, and I like the Best Stop.
Yeah.
Everybody, Best Stop, Billy's, what's that one? Karcher's.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know how to say it.
Don's. There's a bunch of them.
They're all good.
They're all great. Every one of them are great. And that's one thing about Lafayette. There's so many, specialty meat shops where you can get prepared foods and gumbos and etouffees and cut steaks and chops. You don't see this in New Orleans. And there's so many little cafes and restaurants that can it's expensive to run a restaurant in New Orleans. Yeah. It is, with the taxes and everything going on. And you don't see little baby mom and pops really. Like Parrington's.
Like a Parrington's.
You don't see those in New Orleans too much.
Yeah.
You used to, but not. Go find.
I see more of them in Metairie and West Bank.
I don't know. Maybe it's feasible, but in Lafayette, they're all these little gyms. They got a place called Norbert's on Highway 90. That's just an old husband and wife. They're in their 80s. They just opened for lunch. They got this place called Mary's Kitchen and Catering. My father-in-law took me there. You literally got to drive through a cow field to get there. And it's the little lady's house, Creole lady. Then they got the carport where she parks her car and connected to their little restaurant. And it's a legit real restaurant, but
Wow.
you just, and you park there and you go in there and they have like meatball stews, rice and gravy, etouffee,
I love that.
gumbo, cornbread. I mean, it's just like
That's what it's like, home cooking.
good home cooked plate lunch places.
Those are the
I'm a
best.
New Orleans guy. Can't touch Lafayette area.
Yeah.
I mean, they got it down.
Yeah.
You want a good, like, filling, home good plate lunch. We got a lot of them in New Orleans that do it right. Don't get me wrong. But just like, they're all over the place up there.
And then, okay, so touching on that, now let's get into the whole Michelin guide.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously the first time New Orleans or Louisiana, American South is up to be in the Michelin guide, who was going to get picked? They only picked places in New Orleans, and Parkway's got put on the Bib Gourmand list.
I'm humbled about that.
That's insane. Were you shocked? You went out to the ceremony.
I did go to the ceremony, and it was so awesome because you got to be in the likes of course, the Legacy, father and son. You got to be in the likes of, John Besh and I mean,
and all these
other great chefs from Dakar and Dookie Chase and I mean, you name it, Galatoise. I was partying with Melvin Rodrigue with Galatoise. I'd never really talked to him or I'd see him in mass every time and time again, but never really said hello. But I got to really know a bunch of people. You let your hair down, and it was almost like a camaraderie. Like, you can't explain it. It was almost like, I don't know, what it'd feel like to be on your Olympic team.
Yeah.
Right. And you're all like, because you're representing your culture, where you're from. There's so many different fabrics of that, but we're all the same kind of quilt.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And man, it was so much fun. In Michelin, they rolled out the red carpet. They made everybody feel like kings and queens. And I was just glad to be there. I never thought I was going to win anything because
so when you're invited to come out, you didn't know you were going to be on that list?
No, I didn't.
Really?
So they called this early summer, and they left a voicemail on the Parkway voicemail saying it was the Michelin guide. Can you please call back? So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I called him back, and long story short is she was saying, you have a chance to be in the guide. We just want to get some information from you. So it was a couple of like extensive phone interviews, and they asked you all kind of questions, like from like just what do you do with not just food, like what do you do in your community, like it was almost like how we're talking. It was just a conversation for an hour of everything about Parkway and just the history and all kind of things. Even like, how are you sustainable and, doing stuff to, help the environment. There was questions like that because there's an award for that. They give it like a green star or something like that. But I didn't know anything. I was just doing the interview. And I'm like, well, how could Parkway Bakery get a Michelin star? That is absurd. And I started reading up on it. And I just sent them a bunch of pictures. So I just sent them like the beginnings. I sent them in stories, just how I'm talking to you.
Yeah. When
it first opened, we have pictures in the 1920s. We have pictures during the streetcar strike. We have pictures during when it got run down and closed up. We have pictures when my uncle we reopened it in 2003. Pictures with floodwaters on it. And then today, the lifestyle pictures of what Parkway is with families. I just sent them the story of Parkway, what you could see with your eyes, and tried to paint them a story.
Yeah.
And eventually it did something because, they had that Bib Gourmand. And what that is, it's geared more to casual places that have like, roots in the community and just...
it's for value.
It's for value. And, Michelin stars, like you look at like Emeralds and... what's Saint Germain got?
Yeah, Saint Germain, Zazu. Yeah.
Like, look. We're both riding vehicles. We're both mobile here, but I'm on a tricycle. Those guys are driving Lamborghinis, or they're like
right. It's a different level of dining.
Different level, But I know I get up every day with my team, and then when I was reading about it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe we do have a shot because we feed over 1,000 people a day consistently. And, most everybody come in, they're happy. And we got to repeat that every single day.
Yeah.
And I guess Michelin looks at that. And we were one out of 11 to get that
on
award.
The Bib Gourmand award. Am I saying it right? Gourmand?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
So yes, because that's all about great food and value. So you're getting really good food for a good price.
Yep.
And so, of course, you guys would win for that. I would totally put you on that list.
But there's so many places
that do that.
That will be on the list. So anyone that didn't get on the list, don't fret, because that probably had to take a lot of work just to get the guide down here. Because it was the whole Gulf South. There was Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. There was a lot. So they had to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
But now they're here. And, the people who have it have to keep it up. And the people who don't have it, there's going to be a lot of people on my personal list probably not even on there.
Oh, same with me. For sure. And I also thought it was interesting, like for Bib Gourmand, it's supposed to be for value, but they put Kingsway. But Kingsway to me is on the level of an Emerald, as Zazu, as a St. Clair. So it's like interesting that they would be on that, because they're like the white tablecloth tasting menu.
Yeah.
But they put that in the same category as you guys.
Yeah. And I hung with Ashwin, all the Vilkus, Dickie Ashwin. They're awesome people. And I really never see them too much because they're in their world, I'm in mine. But we got to hang out and have a couple of drinks. There's a picture with all of us in
I saw that. Yeah. It was really special. That was
really random. We were just, and that wasn't all the chefs there. There was a bunch of chefs that weren't in that picture. Like I got to meet Mason from Turkey.
Oh yeah, Chef Mason. Yeah, he's great.
He's awesome.
He's so. Wait, you never met him before?
I've never met him.
Oh my god!
But I got to hang with him. I got to hang with, like I said, Melvin Rodrigue. I got to hang with I know the Chases, but I never really. We always working. I got to hang around a fire pit and drink cocktails with him and talk and just catch up, and it was so much fun.
How long were you guys there for?
We were just they had it on a Monday night. So
so Monday night you guys all hung out that night only.
And me and my wife flew up Sunday and got there, and so we stayed Sunday night, and it was in Greenville? Greenville, South Carolina. I'm going back. Greenville.
I hear it's amazing. One of my closest friends is from there.
Little quaint town, little quaint airport, easy to fly into.
Okay.
It's like flying.
Was it Breeze Airways? How can you get there?
No, I flew Delta.
Oh, so it doesn't matter, but you have to do 2 stops?
Yes.
Yeah.
You mostly have to go through Atlanta.
Yeah.
And and they really put on. They were the other 50%. They really put it on for all the visitors coming in for Michelin. And Michelin, their North American headquarters is in Greenville.
Get out.
The tire company.
I wonder why.
And you look at the history of what Michelin is. It was a guide to sell more tires. Yeah. And what that's turned into. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. Just like the po'
It's just
boy.
like the Guinness World Records. It was just a bunch of guys that drank beer and they're like, hey, what's the tallest man in the world? Yeah. And then it turns into this beast.
And look at the po' boy. Like it started off during hard times to feed striking streetcar workers. And look, a couple of days ago, we're at the Po' Boy Fest. Everybody's putting their best hat on, trying to make these crazy sandwiches.
I know
what it's turned into, So
it's such a special thing. It's you think of New Orleans, you think of the Po' Boy.
Yeah, there's all kind of things, all kind of things I think of.
Everyone always asks, but when for food, every time when people are coming down, they're like, "Where do I go get a Po' Boy?"
I know.
I was the other day. There was a bunch of people at the Bills Bar, and they were in for Skink Fest. The comedy thing, and they're like, okay, so for Po' Boy, I went to Parkway's. Was that good? And I'm like, yeah, that's good. You got to go to Parkway.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah, and that's why that's one thing about Parkway. Like, are there better sandwiches than me than if you're in a like a white box?
Yeah, like if we're gonna do judging,
sandwich, who knows? I know we do it right, but when you walk into Parkway, I feel like. We have great food. Don't get it wrong. But what's just as important to me is the service and the vibe that Parkway brings. When you walk into Parkway, there's an uplifting vibe. It's just
It's bright. It's warm. It's welcoming.
it's a living museum. You can see all the pictures on the walls and
Yeah.
stuff of the history. It's
And
just,
then getting like a good Bloody Mary. You guys do a
yeah,
fantastic
and we
Bloody
have
Mary.
two full bars.
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Most sandwich shops don't have cocktail bars in them.
Right. I'm trying to think of another. There's no other spot because like I love Verdi Mart in the quarter.
Yeah.
But Verdi
All
Mart,
that jazz.
you
That's-
can't just go sit at Verdi Mart. If Verdi Mart was an actual establishment where you could sit down and stuff, they would have a similar vibe potentially as Parkway.
But I think it would lose its vibe.
It would.
That's why I like Verdi Mart.
Totally.
I love that.
Sit at the corner.
Yeah. That's the kind of shops I like.
Yeah.
I like the Verdi Mart kind of shops. You know a shop I've never been to? And I gotta go. It
Where?
might be my new favorite because I watch what people are doing around town.
Yeah.
Is Frady's.
Oh yeah.
It's a corner store and it's in the Bywater.
Yeah, I haven't been there either.
Yeah. That family that runs that place, they're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's similar vibes to that corner. Yeah.
Yep.
As Parkway.
Yeah, it has that
Yeah.
corner cut. And you can see Mandina's
Yep.
has that corner cut. I mean, they're all over. Some of them are now people converted to houses, but those were all like some kind of business back in the day.
Yeah.
Those corner
Yeah.
cut shops. Yep.
Do you ever work, and I'm sure you probably don't, but like to keep that level for Michelin to stay on that list? Like, you know what?
Did
you guys talk about that when you were all like there? Like, oh, now we gotta keep that level.
I know like people who were in that world, that Michelin world, that strive to get that star, which is very, very, very hard to get. I know it's a conversation for them. Like for sure, the Emeralds of the worlds and like they have 2 stars.
I know they got
it's a
2.
conversation how to get it, how they got it. It's a conversation to keep it up and keep that vibe going.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, it's
the Oscar
you
of
go
food.
walk in that place. It's absolutely amazing. I haven't eaten at the New Emeralds.
I know I need to do
But
that with Chef
for my
EJ.
birthday, I went to the wine bar. They have a wine bar you can just walk in. You need reservations for the restaurant, but and it's absolutely amazing. It's a dining experience like the wine bar. I'm not even talking the restaurant. So and you look in the kitchen, they redid it with a whole wall's glass. And you could do surgery in that place. I mean, it's amazing.
Immaculate.
So it's like that level. It's a whole different. But for me, with that Bib Gourmand, I'm just waking up doing what I'm doing. That's how I got it. I'm not going to worry about it.
Absolutely.
And I think we'll keep it.
Yeah.
And if we don't, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. But I think we'll hold on to it.
I think so too. It really, it's like you said, it's just that mindset. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Everyone's just got to put out the best service, best food that they can.
I never even thought I would. I've already won being.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You already won.
I didn't think I was going to win anything. I just wanted to go up there and feel the camaraderie and be with everybody.
Yeah.
And I got that.
And you did.
The getting something like the award was just a huge bonus.
Yeah.
I was having fun anyways,
Yeah. That's amazing. So what's next for Parkway? What's next for you?
Well, Parkway, I mean, we've added on we're always doing something there. I mean, we got a huge parking lot that we got after the storm, after Katrina. We in the last 2 years, we've added where we used to have a little video poker machine in the bar, the original bar, but we got rid of the video poker machine and we put like a cabana bar where you can order from outside. You've probably seen that. We knocked the wall out and we have a roll up like where you don't have to go in the bar to order your food. You can order from outside.
Yeah.
We got a couple of daiquiri machines with some really cool homemade fresh daiquiris. We have a frozen port swing and a mango margarita. The port swing's like a Greyhound. It's like grapefruit vodka, grapefruit juice.
Ooh.
With lemonade and it's frozen.
I got to try that.
But like the most 2 recent things that are different at Parkway in the last couple of years is we have this cool pre-order drive-through, and it came from COVID. And same with the way you can order from outside in the bar. Every time there's some kind of big hurricane or some kind of big disaster, you got to look at the silver lining. We looked at that with Katrina, and we looked at that with COVID. And one thing about COVID, you could not, the city's rules, max and vax card to go inside. So I didn't want to be in, no matter what political spectrum or what your belief is, I didn't want to be involved in it. So what was legal is you could eat outside. Didn't have to say anything. You can come as you are. So that's why I made it where you can order from the bar from outside. Then I started a drive-through. We just parked the van out there and turned the AC on. We had a guy just waiting. What it turned into is now we have this awesome outside bar. And then we have this call-in system, an online ordering system. We have actual guard booth, like a real building out in the parking lot with a gentleman. His name's Sal Panzica. And he's in the booth orchestrating all the to-go traffic. So it's not like a drive-through where you can call up and look at the screen and say what you want.
Right.
But you call in, you pull up to the booth. Hey, I'm Carla. I'm here to pick up my order. And they'll get on the mic to the kitchen. Hey, Carla's here. And if you're ready, you pull up, we give you your food. Most of the time it's ready. But if you call it in right when you're pulling in the lot, we'll park you in a spot and we'll run it out to you in our golf cart.
Yeah.
And that's turned in huge. And for all your viewers, we have a back dining room called Jay's Place.
It's so nice. The way you guys did it, it felt like it was the original building. Like you walk in and just everything on the wall and the chairs and the bar. It feels like it was built long ago.
We copied the bar. We copied the dining room vibes. It's a mix of the dining room and the bar. But
I love that you made it look just like that.
Well, that's what you want. You don't want to do a renovation or an add-on
and make it modern.
Brand new.
Yeah.
That kills a place like us.
Totally.
You got to make it look like it's been there. And that's what we made it happen. But the one thing beauty about that room, we don't talk about it. The doors are usually closed and the shades are drawn. And it's right across from the restrooms. We only have one bay of restrooms in the restaurant. And if those doors are closed, it's open. You just got to go in. And we built that. We didn't know what we were going to build it for, but we just knew we had the space. So we built it. And what it's turned into is when Parkway gets busy. And one thing I long for is that old school po' boy shop feel that we used to have before Katrina. We'll never get that for me because Parkway's just a busy place. But you will get it in Jay's Place in that back room. That's what we call it. Because you can, as a local, and when I see a local and they're in line, I pull them out of line. I say, follow me. When I see them through the drive-through, I say, why don't you come in anymore? They say, you're so busy. I say, let me show you this back room. And that's where I take them. I show them that back room.
And the server comes up to you. You can order your food, full service.
You can skip that line. All the people from out of town, they know nothing about it. I know, this is going to get out in some people are going to see it, but it's still going to be a secret. It's the best secret in town, I think, as far as to bypass waiting around.
The line, I know.
I know
people don't know yet. Yeah, it's going to get out though. Yeah, man, Parkway. It's so fun to be there.
Yeah, and I'm glad. It's given me a great life. I met my wife doing it.
The po' boy. Who knew?
Yeah,
your whole world would be surrounded by the po' boy.
I've got the chance to meet a couple of. I've met all kind of people through that restaurant. Celebrity status, presidential status, but everybody's all people to me.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'm in a place that I just have the gateway to see the city and anyone at any given time.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it personally for me.
It's beautiful. That's why I love being down in New Orleans and doing what I do. It's being able to meet all the great people. It's so special down here.
And that's how I met you.
Yeah, that's how was it during the Thanksgiving Po' Boy campaign?
I think so.
That fundraiser is getting so big. What is the biggest? I know that fundraiser, you guys raised over 100,000.
Well,
I think
since its start, we've raised over 120,000. But this fundraising period alone, which is just every Wednesday in November, we're doing our third Wednesday tomorrow. I think we're already at 40 grand. So I think we'll do close to 50 or 60 grand.
Wow. So, and that was the goal.
Yeah.
We were trying to get past around 50, right?
Yeah. Well, I've always, the fundraising aspect is you donate $100, you skip the line for the sandwich. And for you viewers out there that don't know what it is it's the Thanksgiving Po' Boy. We come up with it years ago, like 2008 or 9. And it's everything from scratch, cornbread dressing, Leinheimer breadcrumbs, homemade cranberry sauce, homemade gravy, taking the bones from a turkey to make the stock for all that, fresh carved turkey.
It's perfect.
All on French bread. And it got so, we don't make any, it's an expensive sandwich. It really is. But we don't make any money off of it. It's so much labor that goes into it. We literally have a 5-man crew that starts Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, prepping. And then they get a day off Tuesday and we'll close. And then we sell it all on Wednesday. Like we sold 600 of them in 3 hours. This last week.
So you guys sold out early, right? I saw that.
We sold out early and like
That's insane.
But we go by like we write down when we run out the year before. And this year, I think people are recognizing with your help that it's a fundraiser. We're fighting cancer with this sandwich. And that's why I almost wanted to get rid of it years ago because it's such a buildup. People love it so much.
Yeah.
You got to really be on it. And like it's an expensive sandwich to make and labor intensive, but I turned it into a fundraiser. And we're fighting cancer with the Al Capone Foundation.
Yeah, it's incredible what they're doing and what you guys are doing for it. This is exciting. Thank you so much for being on
I've loved
this
it.
podcast with me.
You got me sitting down talking. You gotta cut me off.
I'll never forget when I met you. I was like, Justin Kennedy is so special, and you really are so special to the community.
Thank
and
you.
it's honored to be your friend.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Say more.
Anytime you want me, I'll say more.
All right, everyone, get out to Parkway, get a po' boy.